Welcome to lesson 5 of the Flask tutorial. So at the end of lesson 3, I said that I was going to show you, do a demo of how to use, of how to define static files. That's how to use HTML and CSS in your Flask application, but I forgot about that and I just decided to create one now. So nonetheless, let us see how to define HTML and CSS in Flask. Now, the reason why this is even possible in the first place is because Flask is a web framework. So it is designed to handle HTML and CSS in within your Flask application. So in lesson 3, this was what we were working with, this simple hello there. So we want to adjust and we want to improve the HTML file and make it, and give it more content. So now in our HTML file, for those that have never seen a HTML file before, I will give you a total breakdown. But if you understand the syntax and the format of a HTML file, you can skip the video a minute or 2 minutes ahead. So for those that don't know the syntax or the structure of a HTML file, we start with the doc type HTML. We define the language, which is English, or EN, which is the I think the abbreviation for English. Then we have the head. Within the head tag, we have the meta tag, which has the car sets, the char sets, which is a UTF-8, and this set is an attribute that declares the page's character encoding. I will be linking an article about this in the video description. Then we have a viewport and the contents size, that's how wide it is. Then we have our CSS, which I would be coming back to explain in a minute. Then we have our title, that's the title of the page. Then within our body, that's where we have the contents divided into different sections. So we have a header within the first div, that is welcome to Flask app. We have the main class tag, which has the second content that is in a h2, which is hey there, and a paragraph, which is this is a Flask application with some CSS styling. Then we have the footer. This is how you define your footer. So we have the footer that says made by Sophia using Flask, and we have the enclosure of the div within the body section. Then we close the body section as well, and we have the closing tag for the whole HTML file. So this is the syntax or the structure for a HTML application, for your HTML code. Now, looking at the CSS, which is this. Now, for you to link your static file in CSS within your Django application, that's if your HTML is going to be defined in a Flask application, for you to do that, you have to use the keyword URL4. So what this URL4 does is that it looks through a folder called static, and yes, your folder has to be called static for you to add your CSS or JavaScript file there. So it looks for the folder static, and it looks for the name of the file, styles.css. And once it sees that this exists, then it styles your HTML templates using the CSS configured code. So let's add our CSS configured code. So we've added our CSS configured code. Let me walk you through what the CSS code does. This asterisk just adds margin and padding, but it says 0. So the main focus of this first defined CSS code is the box sizing will be border box. In case you don't know CSS or you have never used CSS in your life, I would also be adding articles or video guides on how to get started with CSS in the video description. The main focus of this video is not really to focus or to talk about the CSS, but I felt like I should give you a breakdown of this. Then we have the body that has the fonts, that has the background color, and has the color that's the color of the text in that will be defined within the body of our HTML. Then we have CSS code for the container. Now, where is the container here? This is the container for the container here, and it has max width, it has margin, it has padding. The same goes for the header, which has text align and padding, the header that we define in the HTML, which is here. Then we have header h1, which is targeting any h1 element within the header tag, which is this here, and it's going to give it a color, font size. The same goes for context and content. The same goes for card. Then the same goes for the h1 within the card. So the card is this here, and the h1 within the tag is this here there. Then we have the paragraph. It's going to give it a line height of 1.6. That's this paragraph here. And it's going to give the footer some CSS code, like the text align will be center, the padding is going to give it a color, etc. So this is just a basic way to show you how you can link your CSS that we added here to our HTML file. So let's ensure that our project is running. Let's go here. And okay, let me show you how it would be before we add the CSS. So we can go here and we can refresh, and it's going to give you these things that we have already defined on the HTML: the title, the header, the container, the content, the card. The content within the HTML would be seen in this place. So let me just make it bold. Let me just make it bold, and you can see this here. So now once we uncomment this CSS code and we run this application again, we see how the CSS gave our templates a unique, a fine look. Like this is really nice, and it now gives it a bit of appealing UI. It add color to the welcome to my Flask app, added color here, made this container into a card, and added color to the footer. So this is how you can define your HTML and CSS in a Flask application. If you found this helpful, do well to like, subscribe, and follow for more Flask tutorials. See you in the next video. Bye.